Hello, during the next 10 minutes we'll discuss the most important business events taking place between October 8th and 14th. You're watching events around the corner on Kazakh TV. European ministers will take a decision on migrant issues on October 8th. Presidential elections will take place in Belarus on the 11th. Ferrari will hold IPO in USA on October 13th. Let's discuss this news in detail. A meeting of the Russian and Japanese foreign ministers will be held in Moscow on October 8th. Sergei Lavrov and Fumio Kishida will discuss issues related to the signature of a peace treaty. Recently, the talks between the foreign ministers of Russia and Japan have taken place in the Russian capital and resulted in signing a peaceful agreement on bilateral cooperation. In addition, the Russian president met Japanese Premier Shinzo Abe during the session of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. The Japanese Prime Minister expressed his willingness to discuss the conditions of a peace treaty. Spokesperson for the Japanese Ministry for Foreign Affairs, Yasuhisa Kawamura, said the parties agreed it's necessary to solve territorial disputes. Shinzo Abe mentioned that the negotiations should proceed in accordance with agreements reached in April 2013. On the same day, October 8th, the EU Council for Home Affairs will have to make a decision on migrant distribution. Let me note that since the beginning of the year, around 500,000 migrants have arrived in the territory of the European Union. In August alone, 156,000 asylum seekers crossed the European borders. For comparison, this indicator as of the whole of 2014 was 280,000. European chief diplomat Federica Mogherini said that a total of 12 million refugees will arrive in European countries. Let me remind you that European politicians agreed at an extraordinary meeting in Brussels on the principle of distributing over the 2 years 34 out of the 40,000 migrants who arrived in Italy and Greece. However, they failed to agree on accepting another 120,000 based on mandatory quotas as insisted upon by the European Commission. The European authorities are facing the lack of accommodation for migrants. In Germany, an airport was allocated for this purpose. IKEA company started designing temporary habitations for those who are left without shelter. The 4th International Conference Secure World 2015 will begin in St. Petersburg on October 9th. Secure World is an important event for the industry. It will convene top experts in the information security and IT fields and information safety officers of the companies with a deep practical expertise. Hot topics and latest developments in the IT sphere will be discussed at the Secure World. The key topics for discussion will be data leaks, cloud and mobile security, and implementation of a comprehensive security strategy. The event is customer-oriented and will provide a variety of expert opinions. On the same day, October 9th, the 23rd Kazakhstan International Exhibition, titled Kyoji 2015, will be over in Almaty. The event, which is scheduled from October 6th to October 9th, is UFI certified. It will feature oil and gas trends, the innovative technology applied in this sector, and showcase new materials and products used by petroleum companies. Kyoji will gather representatives of more than 500 companies from over 20 countries. The International Exhibition 3D Print Expo Moscow will end on the 10th. The similar conferences held in Kazakhstan, Russia, Ukraine and Azerbaijan demonstrated a huge interest in 3D technology and its popularity in CIS and Europe. From October 8th to 10th, visitors will see the latest developments in the sphere of 3D scanning and printing and how they are used in real life. Today, 3D printing has become something customary. The technology has got the potential to be used in new spheres of human life. Its possibilities are extensive. For instance, it is planned to print a real metal bridge using the 3D printer in Amsterdam, while one Israeli company has invented a 3D printer which uses coffee foam. The 3D Print Awards ceremony will be held during the 3D Print Expo. Presidential elections will take place in Belarus on October 11th. Let me remind you that the term of office of Alexander Lukashenko, current president of the country, will end on January 21st next year. Lukashenko has been the president of Belarus since 1994. The elections will be deemed effective if at least 50% of the citizens included in voting lists cast their ballots. A total of 6,170 voting stations will open in the country. Many of them will feature transparent voting boxes. In addition, a program which facilitates voting by blind people has been developed for this election for the first time in the country's history. 4 candidates are running for the office: incumbent President Lukashenko, activist Tatyana Karatkevich, chairman of the Belarusian Patriotic Party Nikolai Ulahovich, and leader of the Liberal Democratic Party Sergei Gaidukevich. Let me note that in spring 2015 the opposition coalition failed to agree on convening a democratic congress and selecting a common presidential candidate. Luxury car maker Ferrari will launch its initial public offering as soon as October 13th. The car maker Fiat Chrysler Automobiles will separate Ferrari by placing 10% of the shares of the Italian sport car maker. Asia and Arab countries shape the luxury car market, with China staying the key market for Ferrari. Over the past 7 years, the money Chinese spend on luxury items have risen threefold and will reach $29 billion by the end of this year. Currently, a 90% stake in Ferrari belongs to Fiat Chrysler Automobiles. The company got this share after the restructuring of Fiat, with 10% going to Piero Ferrari, the son of Ferrari's founder. Sergio Marchionne, Director General of FCA, plans selling 10% of the shares of the Maranello-based company. He expects that as of the IPO date, the famous car-making company will be worth more than 10 billion euro. Therefore, 1 billion euro will be raised from selling the shares. The FCA's market capitalization is more than 16.5 billion euro. Over a year, the company's shares rose by 1/3 in price. Ferrari has a limited production of sport cars, around 7,000 units per year. However, taking account of the high demand in the segment, the index may come to 9,000 units during the next 3 to 5 years. On October 13th, the international conference titled White Nights will be held in Moscow. It is focusing on the development and promotion of mobile and social media games. White Nights is Russia's only international conference which gathers leaders in the mobile industry on an annual basis. This year, representatives of Gree, Miniclip, Good Game Studios, Fireproof Studios and Gameville will deliver their presentations. Facebook, Social Quantum, Microsoft, Wiki.com and Creative Mobile will take part in the event too. In total, 1,500 guests are expected. Several closed workshops have been scheduled, as well as a developers fair. The coming event is a unique opportunity to showcase best practices and find partners, investors and platform support. The first session of the General Assembly of the Islamic Organization for Food Safety will commence in Astana on October 14th. The idea to set up the organization was suggested by President Nursultan Nazarbayev at the 28th session of the Ministers for Foreign Affairs of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation in Astana in 2011. In January this year, an expert meeting of member countries was held on Kazakhstan's initiative to discuss the shaping of a food safety system and preparations for the General Assembly. Representatives of 35 OIC countries took part in the expert meeting in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. All the participants said they're willing to support Kazakhstan in shaping and operating the IOFS. The Food Safety Authority will help coordinate the country's efforts in agriculture, develop the strategies of the agro-industrial complex, provide technical assistance and take measures to fight hunger and malnutrition. This has been our perspective on the coming week. You've watched events around the corner. See you next time on Kazakh TV.